with, well, of course, who else but Peter Mandelson, because as everyone will know by now, Peter Mandelson has been removed as the UK's ambassador to the United States. And of course, we should remember this is the third time he's been sacked from a government role. So he was ambassador to the United States. He is no more. It has all collapsed in a heap. Now, the reason this time, according to the Foreign Office, was that the release by the US House Oversight Committee of a batch of emails revealed what they called additional information that was materially different from what was previously understood about Mandelson's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. We'll have a look at that claim in a moment, but in the meantime, Keir Starmer, of course, has attempted to distance himself from the whole debacle. But if we remember back to when Mandelson was appointed, the statement from Number 10 was, the fact the Prime Minister has chosen to make a political appointment and sent Lord Mandelson to Washington shows how importantly we see our relationship with the Trump administration. Could that be because they recognise the similar activities, the similar alleged activities, we should say, between Mandelson and Trump?
Yes, not the Trump administration, or is it the Epstein administration?
Well, good question. The statement at the time went on to say, we're sending someone close to the Prime Minister with unrivaled political and policy experience, particularly on the crucial issue of trade. He's the ideal candidate to represent the trade in children.
Street trade, probably, but you could be that, Mike.
Ideal candidate to represent the UK's economic and security interests in the United States. And of course, if your security interests are guaranteed through blackmail, then perhaps that is. I mean, these are all allegations, of course. We've got no evidence whatsoever.
I'm sure none of these dots connect, Mike.
None. Now, let's come back to modern day. And well, first of all, here we have this Sky report. They called this an exclusive, saying that security services had raised concerns around the appointment of Mandelson, but Number 10 did not judge them serious enough to block his path to becoming US ambassador. Now, the claim from the Starmer regime is that they were not involved in the security vetting before Mandelson's appointment. And his official spokesperson said that security vetting is carried out by government departments, and that these kinds of roles are only filled subject to vetting checks being done. They didn't say anything about vetting checks being passed, just that the vetting checks had been done. But getting back to the idea that the newly released emails provide any materially different information, let's remember that in 2022, a JP Morgan report, originally written in 2019, became public through court documents for the first time. JP Morgan had written this report because of its relationship with Epstein. Now, sadly, that report doesn't seem to be still available, but it was cited in multiple media reports. For example, The Guardian here, and they quoted saying that this internal report had found that Epstein appeared to maintain a particularly close relationship with both Prince Andrew, and the Duke of York, and at the time, and Lord Peter Mandelson, a senior member of the British government. And they went on to say that Epstein wrote to his private banker, Jess Stanley, on 17th of June 2009 in relation to Mandelson, to say that Peter will be staying over at 71st over the weekend. Do you want to organise either you or you and Jimmy quietly? Up to you. So clearly the connections there were already pretty much public, and I don't think that there was anything really in the latest batch of emails that added, aside from this statement that he considered Epstein his best pal. It didn't really bring any new information to the table. So, Patrick, it seems pretty hard to claim that this was materially different.
I think the problem there, Mike, is the Jess Staley trial, that whole case. I mean, that was fleshed out through the federal courts, hugely embarrassing. There was a massive payout also as a result of that, involving the banks as well. And Jess Staley himself somewhat implicated. But the fact you throw Mandelson in there in the mix with Staley, Epstein, and all the things that were going on, reading those emails is quite harrowing in retrospect. I mean, what exactly are they talking about? And the picture that shocked me the most is Epstein going out shopping with Mandelson, picking out belts and cravat ties. I mean, when grown men go shopping like this together, it's not the usual thing you see, is it? I mean,
No.
Besides having a close relationship, they seem to be more than chummy, let's just say, or say very close mates.
Yeah,
I could say,
they
yeah.
seem to be, yes. Although Mandelson always, or at least since this all came out, Mandelson for the last couple of years has been complaining that he regrets ever being introduced by Ghislaine Maxwell to Epstein. But anyway,
They all say that.
yeah, I know that. But look, yesterday someone asked me why, if Mandelson's connections to Epstein were too hot to handle, is Trump, who seems to be suffering the same kind of allegations, still invited for a state visit when he seems to have questions to answer on his connections to Epstein? Well, let's just remind ourselves who Trump is coming to see, because, oh yes, it's that man on screen there who allowed Jeffrey Epstein to stay at Windsor Castle all those times.
Really?
Yes.
Was that the same man that appointed a DJ to be his social secretary?
We're just indeed coming on to that exactly. We've got exactly that that article from The Guardian. Jimmy Savile invited guests to royal party on Prince Charles' behalf. Yes, exactly that guy. And of course, we should point out that Mandelson wasn't sacked because Starmer thought he deserved it. Uh, uh, and why do we say that? Well, in fact, many believe that Starmer himself has still many questions to answer over the cover-up of Savile. So if we take that little grouping there of Savile and King Charles and Starmer and Epstein and Mandelson, could it be that they're all part of the same club?
Well, one might ask that question. And the other thing, you said it was third time he's been sacked.
Yes.
So he has been sacked
Oh,
multiple
yes,
times.
been sacked multiple
So,
times.
so if you get sacked from your post more than once, do you get rewarded with a lordship, a peerage?
Of course, yeah.
Is that how it works?
That's exactly how it
I was
works.
always confused about the qualification process, but thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, Starmer still under pressure over this. But before we get all smug that Starmer could fall, let's just remind ourselves who the new deputy prime minister is right now. Well, maybe the grass isn't greener on the other side in that case. But anyway, Patrick, let's